What is up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Ringside Podcast and Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast collaboration, the Wednesday Night Wrestling Recap, where, shocker, we recap what's been going on in the wrestling world. We are your hosts, Jeremy Wahman, Joe Wahman.
Acknowledge me.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Joey. What'd you say?
Acknowledge me.
Oh, I didn't hear. No, I just had to fix your mic. And a man who is who is synonymous for wanting to be underneath the pile, it's Shawn Barbour.
How's it going?
He never denies any of the fun facts. It's just like, all right, jump on top of me, guys. The chat line is open. The chat line is open for all your comments and questions. We will answer those in real time to get your interactions. Don't forget, if you are a member of the Ringside Chat on Twitter, you have the opportunity to call in as well. Just let us know in the group chat. Sean will be monitoring that group chat as always. Guys, let's hop right into it. Well, first off, let's give our shout outs to our guys over at CapGo Championship Belts. Christmas time's coming up. It's about time. If you're wanting to have that for Christmas, you need to be placing your order for your dream championship or one you want to create from just from your imagination. They can do it there at CapGo Championship Belts. A little bit of miscellaneous news. First off, they have announced that the Saturday night's main event on December 13th will be Peacock exclusive again. I believe the last one was. It is kind of a unique format. The Saturday night main events were supposed to be something that brought us to broadcast television, and they've moved it off to streaming. It was also not formally announced, but speculated today that not one, but two old dirty bastards may show up there. Vince McMahon is rumored to be there for Cena's last match, and a certain president may also be there. So, I mean, if they're going to have UFC fights out in the Great Lawn, I don't see why he wouldn't travel it down to the arena to watch Saturday night's main event. It was also confirmed this week. Joe Hendry's contract has been absorbed by WWE. That he was bought out of his TNA contract, so WWE paid TNA, I guess, to be able to get him early, and he's now officially a member of the WWE roster. Last but not least, it was also confirmed that it had Tiny Khan on the Ariel Helwani show yesterday, where a bunch of I could respect. Let's get on a little tirade to start off the show. Not necessarily a pipe. You know what? I haven't hit that graphic in a while. Let's just do it anyway. Is your first time seeing the graphic, Sean?
Yes.
Yeah, because I've got the new in studio Tron 5500 up and running today. Ariel Helwani has been a noted WWE fan. He has WWE people in there, ask some pretty easy questions. He has the AEW people in there. It's pretty difficult and pretty critical. Even when he's got WWE people in there that he is talking to about their time in AEW, he gets a lot of dirt out. But today, this week, he welcomed Ariel Helwani into the lair, wherever that's at. It's a pretty sweet setup, and asked him a variety of questions. My issue with Tony Khan is he always answers everything politically correct. It's always some sort of we'd love to have Britt Baker back whenever she's ready to come back. She's been out for a year and is healthy. But it did. One of the questions, and I'm going to watch it in its entirety tomorrow. But one of the things that was talked about was Ariel asked him, "Hey, WWE contact you all about maybe using Edge, borrowing Edge like you all have done in the past." And I forgot exactly what it was. Oh, Billy Gunn for the Hall of Fame. And then did he show up to the Hall of Fame? I don't remember.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was on there because they made the comment like this guy's all in, and then he had the water gun and it dripped.
what was it they did? So I must be thinking about the.
Oh yeah, because Triple H says don't worry about it because Vince will just buy that pissant company and fire you again.
Yeah, so it was something along those lines. But I think I'm thinking of the 25th anniversary of DX Raw, where they
That he
were
was
talking
not
about
wrong.
Billy was pushing staplers or something for somebody. But nevertheless, asked if they'd been contacted about using Edge, and the answer was simply no. Nobody ever contacted him about that. I feel like that was a lost opportunity. However, I think all the big surprises like that are probably going to be saved for Saudi. So I'm not really too surprised that they didn't ask about it. But let's let's get into the show. We're going to start off with the Friday Night SmackDown report by Joey.
All right, on the November 14th episode of SmackDown, we see Paul Heyman, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed walking in. Paul Heyman's obviously he talks to Adam Pierce, not Adam Pierce, Nick Aldis. He had the conversation with him about choosing the rest of his team, and Nick Aldis made a point. And looking back, obviously you could see the verbiage. Anybody that's on the Raw or SmackDown roster, anybody. Well, that comes to fruition a little bit later in the show, right? But to start off, match results: Jey Uso defeated The Miz in the first round match for the last time is now tournament to determine Cena's final opponent. Pretty good match. I mean, Miz is a good worker. Always puts on good matches, entertaining matches. Ilya Dragon me to sleep. Dragunov had an open challenge that was answered by Axiom, and he beat him with the H-bomb, the Torpedo Moscow combination to retain the U.S. title. LA Knight defeated Woo. You know it. Return of Zack Ryder. Beat him with a BFT. Great match. Good showing. Excellent crowd pop for Zack. It's good to see that return on Friday. Jake Cargill defeated B-Fab easily in a non-title match with her signature finish and layback liquor finger pin, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
So another thing that happened on Friday, and we'll get more into the rest of it with the Raw report. Charlotte come out and decided that she didn't want to be a part of the team with Rhea Ripley. She couldn't trust her. She didn't like her. Their long history, bad blood. So she opted out. And then the rest of them were attacked by Nia, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors. Sami Zayn confronted the MFTs. He announced he was 100% medically cleared. And with Shinsuke, Rey Fenix, and the Motor City Machine Guns, they attacked the MFTs. And then obviously later Nick Aldis announced that Solo and would be able to get his hands on Sammy, but it would be at the pre-Survivor Series SmackDown in a 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match.
Love that.
They announced next week's opponents, next week's matches for the Last Time Is Now tournament, which would be Penta versus Finn Balor and Bronson Reed versus Carmelo Hayes. And then in the main event, Cody Rhodes, Bronson Reed. Cody defeated Bronson by disqualification after interference from Braun Breaker and Logan Paul, which then prompted Drew McIntyre to come out and attack Cody Rhodes and the Usos along with the Vision. So seemingly it, at least for the short term, Drew McIntyre has joined up with the Vision, Paul Heyman and the rest of the guys, making a pretty daggone formidable foursome, if you ask me.
Absolutely. Well, you know what didn't make sense about that main event to me? Earlier in the show, which this wasn't brought up, but there was a backstage segment with Nick, Paul, and Cody where Paul barters a title shot for the main event. So it's a championship match. Bronson Reed could win the title, and his cronies come out and get him disqualified. Wonder if that's something that they, in the future they're putting seeds into our head for it.
To turn on Drew, maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Really decent SmackDown. Was very, very happy to see Zach, Matt, Car Rider, or whatever.
Always ready.
And this is this may be historical because in the last 2 weeks we've seen one guy play two different people on WWE television. So I'm not sure that's happened ever. So who knows? Who really cares? Sean, did you got to watch SmackDown? How did you your thoughts on SmackDown?
It was definitely better because it's more focused. I feel like everything, there's a thread running through the show, right?
Yeah.
Survivor Series. That was nice. And then you had the nice Zack Ryder appearance. Put on a pretty good match, too. That was a pretty good match that he put on. Other than that, it's showing me that they're starting to rebound a little bit. Because let's be honest, SmackDown's since September haven't been the greatest.
Isn't that so weird? Because since they moved it to 2 hours, news on that in a minute, it's not been as good.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely insane. But the one thing I always loved back in the day was when it was Survivor Series time for the 3 or 4 weeks leading up to it, you saw some unnatural alliances form and you'd see them come out and beat people up. And that's exactly what Monday night reminded me of, was an old school go home for Survivor, build up for Survivor Series. The interesting news it was also announced that SmackDown will be returning to 3 hours. Is it in January?
Yes, January 2nd or 3rd.
The first January of the year, it'll be moving to 3 hours. Also interesting enough, and we've not been here for a couple of weeks, but on February 27th, SmackDown returns to the KFC, almost into the Monday Night Raw Center, to the KFC Yum Center here in Louisville. We will be there in the Ringside Podcast Suite. And I'm going to be billing Daniel for it. And it'll be a 3-hour SmackDown. So we were excited first because it was like, oh, yeah, SmackDown. And then it's like, it's going to be a 3-hour SmackDown. We're like, good thing it's Friday night because good thing football season's over.
It's SmackDown the night before Elimination Chamber, so it should be really good.
And it's that was my next point. It is the go home for Elimination Chamber. So there could be some special. And also, they've been doing this thing all year where they've been they've only been doing the 5 matches on the pay-per-view, but they've been writing the pay-per-view up for 7 matches, putting 5 on the pay-per-view and then 2 on SmackDown the night before. So there should be some, and they're doing that again with the 5-on-5. I honestly wish, and we'll probably talk about this next week because it'll be the whole show will be Survivor Series themed next week. The format. I loved the old format. I really loved the 1 year, even though after that 1 year, I started to realize you can't do that every year, or they would start to be very, very predictable. But where they did the Ultimate Survivor match at the end of the night, and it ended up being like Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior against 8 people. Probably not, but that's the story we're going to go with right now. And they won. It was kind of crazy about that. Let's get into Monday Night Raw, and let's check the chat line too. Keith Russell in the building. What's up, Keith? We're gonna go over Monday Night Raw, and it's what a lot of people are calling, and I am a lot of people, the Raw of the year. Show started off with Triple H in Madison Square Garden, an iconic venue. Probably if you had to rate venues or cities for wrestling fans, MSG's got to be number one. And it would definitely, like, there are a couple other cities that you would put in like a top 5. You put Chicago in the top 5. You put Boston in the top 5. Philadelphia would be up there.
Dallas probably be close.
Who?
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
Just because the rich history of the Dallas Sportatorium and
sure.
San Francisco with the Cow Palace, just the history of wrestling in those cities.
And I'll say this: if they ever do, like, they induct cities, because I heard they were going to start inducting cities, and I'd like that. You can't put a top 10 wrestling city list together without putting Louisville, Kentucky in that top 10 list. Like, it could be number 10 for all I care. But what's that?
They'd figure a way out to leave us off of it. Put Providence, Rhode Island there at number 10.
Just imagine if somebody paid somebody $25 million to put a 10-person list together, and that list went out there and flopped. Anyway, I digress.
It'd be wild.
It would be wild. Crazy. Wild and crazy.
John, you're a crazy cat, bro.
Crazy. He ain't never had. So Triple H opens up the show in MSG. Introduces John Cena. Show opens with Cena talking about Madison Square Garden. Emotions this, emotions that. Dominic Mysterio interrupts. He demands a rematch. Cena said, let's go. Let's do it tonight. Dominic said, no, let's do it in my hometown under my rules. Match is set for Survivor Series. Cena promised he would fight tonight. So the rest of the Judgment Day come out to try to jump Cena. And that's when Shamey and Ramey came out, and good times were had. It was set up as a 6-man match. It is crazy to me. Now, listen, we all had our dream. When we got down to 10, we were like, all right, well, I want him to fight AJ, and I want him to fight Gunther, and I want him to fight Dominic. I don't know anybody that said, hey, I want him to fight Dominic 3 times out of the last 10. Not a big fan of that, but it is what it is. Next was
Ramus. That should be their tag team name. Sheamus and Ray. Ramus.
I like it. I like it. Almost as good as AJ Lee's tag team name.
Yeah.
They followed that up. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, but for the last couple times that Cena's been on Raw, Nikki has followed him right after his segment. Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer have a little interaction, and
she beat up Stephanie Vaquer.
For some reason, Stephanie's just letting her stand above her and punk her out. Probably the least fun part of the show, but it does set up a title match for that Women's World Championship at the Series of the Survivors. Next was the moment most of us were waiting for all night. Would it be Joe Hendry? Unfortunately, we were told earlier in the day it would not be Joe Hendry. Would it be a returner? Would it be Chris Jericho? Would it be Edge? Would it be Goldberg? Nobody wanted that. Would it be a TNA guy? And after all of the guesses and wishes and hopes, the music hit, and I swear it was the loudest pop of the evening, at least tied for loudest pop of the evening.
Yeah, Dominic probably got the loudest.
See, I was going to say Cena got the loudest.
Cena.
I was joking.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot of loud pops that Monday.
There really was. And we get the return of the wanted man. He's here to show the world. It's Dolph Ziggler. They made you think Dolph was going to pull off the win because so we were sitting there about halfway through the show, and I look over and I'm like, oh, well, I just realized Tala Tonga's out there with Solo. Wonder if he's going to accidentally, like, maybe or even purposefully beat up Dolph Ziggler and get him to advance to the next round. It was nothing but a pipe dream there, though, because and that was a really, really good match. So you couldn't really have asked for much more if you were Nick.
You know, they fought back in 2023, almost 2 years ago to the date. It was one of his last matches.
Yeah.
Was against Solo.
Yeah.
Did you see that his interview where he was talking about it afterwards? Said he's known for about 3 weeks, but the only person he told was his brother, Nick Nemeth's brother. The end. And he said, if he gets out, I know who told because I only told you. And he said he sat back in the loading dock in the back of a truck for 5 hours. You know, he said, I always wanted to be the guy in the hood, you know, like in the black cape, you know, that nobody knew. He said, I finally got to do it. So that was cool for him, for real.
Yeah, and I didn't see it. I was listening to Busted Open when they did the interview live Tuesday morning. Which shout out to those guys that keep me entertained every day. And Bubba, what was it he said? Oh, he called him Nick. He always calls him Dolph, which infuriates Nick. But he called him Nick at one point, and Nick was like, "Oh, I come back as Dolph, and now you want to call me Nick?" He said, "Sorry, Dolph," and it was a good time. After that, Alexa Bliss comes out. She's pretty much whining and crying on the microphone because Charlotte's been posting pictures all day in New York. She won't call her back. She's ghosting her. This leads to the heel team coming out and attacking her. Then you see, then Rio comes out. Rio, I don't know how to do it. Rio comes out, and then they start getting the best. The heels are still kind of, you know, taking the numbers advantage, and then Charlotte comes out to make the save. The whole I'm not going to do it just to come back 3 days later and do it, that didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But who could the fifth member be for each team? We might find out later in the show. Speaking of later, Bayley is then approached by the Kabuki Warriors to be on their team. She declines. Now, I don't remember. Did she get beat up after she declined?
They threw her into the
okay. That's what
boxes or whatever.
That's what I was thinking, but I could not recall for sure. Right after Lyra had left, who was back there. Shocker of the evening: Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree for the Intercontinental title ends when AJ Lee comes out after a solid match by the two. She distracts Becky. Dupree hits a crossbody, which apparently is her finishing move. Now, why is that shocking to people? Because we've never seen her win a match before, so we didn't know via pinfall that was her finishing move. She gets the win. After that, she's in the back with AJ. They're being interviewed. The Alpha Academy comes back to celebrate with Maxine. They walk away. AJ's being interviewed, and then from the side, Rhea Ripley comes in and says, "Hey, let's talk." It very well could now be said she could be the fifth member of that team, which would make sense for Becky being the fifth member of the heel team. That is we talked about it the other day, but that the women's face team was already stacked, but you add AJ Lee there, and then you add Becky on the other side. Pretty solid.
Hey, did you know now the Dupree family have now won the women's Intercontinental Championship and the men's United States Champion? Max and Maxine Dupree.
I thought Max died a couple years ago. I don't think he's.
No, he just had an identity crisis.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Max Dupree. Remember he used to correct, was it Adam Pearce?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't saying Dupree. Anyway.
Dupree. Then the next match was a match that we were all a little excited for, but we're like scratching our heads like, why feed this dude to Gunther? Javon Evans versus Gunther, and Gunther comes out with his old music, which is more intimidating. It was really cool to hear the old music. Really, really good match that ends with Javon tapping out. This kid is doing something, has done something in the last few weeks amongst different Raw, SmackDown, TNA, their pay-per-view, their regular TV, NXT.
Ain't he been on AAA too? Didn't they wrestle on AAA? Didn't they go after? For some reason, I thought they were wrestling some. Oh no, they wrestled AAA guys. Never mind. Slater and him were in the ring, and Mr. Iguana and I forget who else came out.
Sean looked at it. I think they may have wrestled on that. But that was an NXT. It wasn't a AAA.
No, I know. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That's where I was confused. It was AAA guys, but
it was on NXT paper. But
right.
Nevertheless, this dude has made such a big impression that there are many people backstage that think that Evans has raised his stock so much he may be the future face of the company. I wasn't a big Javon Evans fan when he first came out, and this dude does. Him and Leon Slater, they're just phenomenal.
That's who WWE will go after next. That's who they'll absorb next.
Yeah, that's what they did with Jordan Grace as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end of the evening, the Survivor Series face-off ends up in a brawl. They all go at it. The good guys get the upper hand. We're waiting for it. The beast Brock Lesnar comes out. Everybody's running for their lives.
Obliterates.
He just kills everybody. The bad guys get the upper hand. The credits start to roll. And just when it seems like that's how the show would end, they did something that annoys me. They started Roman's music off in the middle of it.
Yeah,
we should have heard the. We should have heard the whole thing instead of. I hate that. It's always. I hate it. It's always kind of reminded me of like, you remember the old Meow Mix commercials when we were growing up? Meow 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 meow.
Sean doesn't know. It's about cats.
Well, but yeah, these are pussy cats. So I think he knows a little bit about. Have y'all ever had one of those in your home?
Yes.
As a pet?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So he does.
Did he sleep in the room with you?
No.
He knows.
I should have known.
Even then.
Get out of here, pussycat.
But it's Roman Reigns who has told us on this show he didn't want to see the Usos until the holidays. Or was it Christmas?
No,
Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Or Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was.
No, it was Christmas. I don't want to see y'all till Christmas.
This may be the Mandela effect live on our show. We'll let you all tell us which one it was. Because I kind of initially thought it was Thanksgiving. Then I was like, well, maybe it was Christmas. So I put until the holidays as an even point there. The episode ended in true old school WWE form with the Survivor Series teams finally being set and in the ring. Best Raw of the year. Some of my pointers from the night. The Time Is Now tournament is amazing. The opening rounds were great. It was great to see Nick and Dolph and Zach come back and do their things. It's just crazy. This working agreement with TNA has just opened up a bevy of opportunities, and we're seeing new stuff every week, and it's just crazy. Again, not sure I'm pumped about 3 Cena Dom matches when there were so many other options, but not going to complain. Who would have thought I would have been a fan of anything John Cena wise? But he does follow me on Twitter, so I had to give him a little bit of a break. I'm going to message him after the show and tell him to come to OVW and see if he can't tell them bye too, because those OVW crazies, which most of them tuned out of the podcast they were watching to come over here and watch ours instead. Shout out to the OVW fan zone, and yeah, give them a little bit of love.
All right, so I just looked it up. Roman told him he didn't want to see them until Christmas after they got involved in his match at Crown Jewel. He said they shouldn't show up for Thanksgiving unless they had presents for him.
Okay, so that's what. Wait.
So maybe they gave him a present.
I don't know, but who gets presents for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, something.
He wanted a present.
I mean, I can see a jolly fat man walking through the door, but does he bring presents?
I mean, if you can swing them,
Okay.
Sean.
Speaking of swingers, Sean. I'm just kidding. Let's swing on over to NXT. There's a nice little transition. Again, we've not been here for a couple weeks, but at the end of last week's episode, the ruler returned, Oba Famai, and he looks bigger than ever. So I don't know if it was just because we hadn't seen him in a couple weeks or if he's just been bench pressing flatbed trucks, but he looked in great shape. Gold Rush started off. There's like 4 matches. I didn't like that. I feel like with this being a showcase of 3 brands, AAA, Evolve, and NXT, you should have had more matches, but it is what it is. Gold Rush starts off with Ethan and Chelsea defending their tag titles, their AAA mixed tag titles, versus the Believe Hers, Joe Hendry and Thea Hale, patent pending. The champs retain after some shenanigans, which allowed Chelsea to pin Thea. Great match. All 4. I'm really starting to like Thea Hale a little bit more than again, she was another one that I wasn't too sure of at the beginning, but she pairs wonderfully with Joe. And we all know that Ethan and Chelsea both. Ethan's got to be close to making it to the main roster. And Chelsea just does. You hear so many people gush about Chelsea. Even on the Raw recap, they had John Cena on there. He was just going on. You good?
Yeah, I got a fly or something.
So you thought you'd give us a 3.2 earthquake in the city?
Sorry. Big hands. Can't help it.
I can't help but to notice that you've got a Cardinal Sports Zone background up. Who are they? I'm just kidding.
It's part of the collaboration.
True.
And you got a banner behind you.
Can you see it now? But yeah, he's a main event waiting to happen. I really hope Joe Hendry can translate to the main roster. I enjoy him. He entertains me. That he's got a lot still to prove the big time, but I think he's going to be okay. Now to the frustrating part of the show. Blake Monroe defeats Sol Ruka after Azaria throws in the towel. For the love of God, can you break them up already? If someone turns on their partner before these two do, I will lose it. In parentheses, you may not have to wait too long. The champ retains. Ava announces that John Cena will not only get his way going out the door, but he's also going to decide who competes in the men and women's Iron Survivor matches. He'll announce those next week. It was also... I'm tired, y'all. I'm sorry.
This is my cousin Sleepy.
Yeah, I am sleepy. It's also... We also find out this week that John Cena lets us know that the other matches on Saturday night's main event are going to be featuring established WWE stars versus up and coming NXT stars. So you'll see Ricky Starks face off against somebody. Oba will fight somebody. I believe Joe Hendry's penciled in for that event. So it's going to be some really, really good. And I'm sure some of the women will be. Lola Vice would have to be one that you'd have to consider. Jordan Grace would be another. Not Kalani Jordan, though. I like Kalani Jordan, but she was not ready to be the champion of any promotion just yet. She's good, but she needed to wait her time like Jade Cargill did.
Stand by 1 second.
Okay.
No, keep going. I'm just telling you, I'm standing by for Mom's calling me in the middle of the podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. The match I was looking forward to the most, though, was next. Dark State versus Javon and Leon Slater. Dark State takes the victory after more shenanigans when Javon accidentally hits Leon, then gets tossed out of the ring. Champs retain again. This was the theme for tonight so far. Leon may have hit the move of the century over the turnbuckle. During this, Tavion Heights and Josh Briggs fight throughout the backstage area. I just don't have any interest in that particular feud at the moment. Which we come to the main event. It's Tatum Paxley versus JC Jane. Another solid match tonight ends after. Oh, come on. Izzy turns on Tatum by kicking her soul out of her body through her butthole. And JC wins to become a 2-time champ at Madison Square Garden, joining a very exclusive list, they said last night, of people who've won the title. I know Shayna Baszler was one of them that they mentioned. I don't remember any of the other names. I should have wrote those down. This was a 4 out of 5 star show. It wasn't anything phenomenal, but it was lots of entertaining, lots of good. I liked it. Sean, how did you feel about it?
Well,
here comes Mr. Piss Down Your Leg.
Like, I feel like the wrong turn happened.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, like Izzy Dame, they haven't really built that up as much. I've known
no, there's no need
Zarya and Sol Ruka has been built forever, and it feels like they're doing like they did with Judgment Day. Like they're still doing with Judgment Day. This tease, we're going to break up, and then they never follow through.
So 1,000%, 10,000% throws the towel in next week versus her, because Zarya challenges Fallon. Well, I was going to say Fallon Henley for the speed title. So throwing the towel in. Thank God hopefully we'll get our turn next week. But go ahead.
And then I'll be interested to see what's going to happen with Javon and Leon, because obviously a lot of times when you have something like that happen, it's to set up some kind of blood feud, right? Like the guy that gets hit, even though it's an accident and everybody can see it. You
don't know they're in the Bloods.
You're right. I don't.
Don't.
One's from England, so I don't even know if he would know what that is. But
one of what?
They're called the Bloodies over there.
The Bloodies. Oh my God.
I think I left my mobile at the flat.
I'm here all night.
Even their lingo is kind of sissy like, but whatever. You get me?
Yeah, I feel like fighting Dark State. I don't, Dark State I don't really like Dark State.
I thought them putting Leon and Javon versus Dark State was racist. It just did not hit the way I wanted it to hit. No, I don't think anything like you saw after the match. They were Javon was like, "I'm sorry, man. They pulled." I don't think you're going to be able to break the best buddies up for anything. And I'm looking forward to seeing them tag again in the future. Week 2 of Joey, what about you? Sorry.
Well, as far as like the Tatum Paxley Izzy Dame thing, they have kind of teased that for a while with like the different people coming back, like her, like Lyra coming, back and trying to, friend, like her getting jealous, this, that, and other. And then every time since she's won the title, every time she talked, you kind of see Izzy rolling her eyes. What I wasn't surprised that Izzy turned on her. I was more surprised that Nico and Sean Spears were like involved with it, seemingly like they knew it was the plan, this, that, and other. Not more of a like kind of a look like a what's going on, type of thing. That's where I was more surprised, by not necessarily that Izzy turned on her, but that they seemingly were on board with it. Like, but I do feel like they've teased dissension with Izzy and her, like Izzy using her to try to get herself ahead, and then Tatum wins, and then her just getting jealous about it. It kind of doesn't make sense that they turn on her to cause her to lose the title. To me, you would use that to, you'd want to help her keep the title, then turn on her to get yourself a title shot.
Yeah, and again, it didn't shock me that it happened. It shocked me that it happened 3 weeks after she won the title. Like she literally just won the championship at the end of October at Halloween Havoc. We didn't even have time to see this. It felt rushed when they started doing stuff the very next day to me. Unfortunately, Tatum Paxley now holds a record. She has the shortest women's title reign at 24 days of any woman in NXT history. Didn't feel like she should have won the title to begin with.
I don't disagree.
Needed some more seasoning. Nothing against her. Love her. I love her character. I've always appreciated what she's done. And for it to end like this, now it really makes no sense, because you would have thought this would have led to her defending her title versus Izzy, or even Izzy being like, well, you know what? You've given all these people opportunities. Let me have an opportunity. Then you have everybody turn on her in that match. Week 2 of Gold Rush is set up. It seems to be the weaker week to me. Sean Legacy defending, Jackson Drake defending the Evolve Championship versus Sean Legacy. Zarya fighting Fallon Henley for the Speed title. We know the result of that already. Congratulations, Fallon. Lainey Reed will face I don't remember her first name. Kendall Gray. I knew her last name was Gray. I forgot Reed versus Gray, but I couldn't remember her first name.
For the Evolve Women's title.
For the Evolve Women's Championship, that one could be good. Jordan Grace will fight Li Ming Li Lulu and Kalani Jordan in a 3-way match for the TNA Knockouts Championship. And Trick Williams will fight, I always want to call him Miles or Evan Bourne, but it's Miles Bourne in a no stakes match. And then also I think Briggs and Heights are fighting.
It's not on like all the results are on Wikipedia. That match is not on there. The 5 that you named were the ones that were
okay, because I was pretty sure that they had said that was going to be a match, but yeah, I wanted to look up the card for week 2, but I was like, nope, it's already been recorded. I'll see the results. Don't want to see the results.
Well, I didn't know that they were on there, to be honest with you. So I just pulled it up to look at, just have night ones up here. And then it's like, boom, there they are. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hashtag Joey knows.
I already knew one of them. It wasn't the one that you said. I had already seen something about one of the other ones.
Gotcha. TNA Turning Point at Full Sail last week. Starts off, Santino has security outside after Impact ended the night before with an NXT beatdown of Santana, which led to Kaz cashing in his trophy, Call Your Shot trophy, and winning the TNA championship. Go inside.
Again, seems rushed, right?
Huh?
I said again, seems rushed, right? Santana finally winning.
After them being off for a month, TNA took a month off, and they come back, and he loses it in his very next appearance.
Yeah.
Kaz has an episode of the King's Court. TNA President Silva is the guest. He informs Kaz there's an investigation. The Nemeths come out and accuse Kaz of setting it up. And then Nick states he will cash in his title shot after the main event tonight. Will there be some shenanigans? Yes, there will be. Kalani Jordan defends her title versus M by Elegance. There's then a segment with Ava and Santino and Ariana Grace, where Ava declares she has no idea why the NXT contingent did what they did. I'm noticing now there's a bunch of typos. That's why I have an editor for the website who never edits my work. I'm hoping that he catches all because I get to type and I misspell words that don't autocorrect. After that, AJ Francis defeated the up-and-coming BDEFGHIJK LMNOP. I don't really know who that guy is. I know he's an influencer. I just wish they would stop with that. Next up, they interview international champion Steve Macklin, who says, I still haven't heard from Santana. It's okay. I will take those two on by myself, which we all knew what that meant at that point. Indy Hartwell defeated Danny Luna in a no disqualification match. Pan to the back. Ava tells Santino she's hired extra security to make sure history doesn't repeat itself. Again, we know what that means. And Santino went to Costco, shaking my head. The Inspiration then defend their tag titles by defeating the Angel Warriors and Victoria Crawford and Mila Moore. It was initially supposed to be Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard. Blanchard was deemed medically uncleared. Order 4 defeated Cedric the Entertainer and the Hardys, which was kind of weird because I thought he was still doing comedy. The Rascals defeat the System with their secret mystery member that nobody had an idea except for everybody on Earth knew who it was. It was Desmond Xavier. They get the victory. I was shocked by that. The System should have reigned supreme regardless. Leon Slater defends his X Division championship against Rich Swann. They then play a tribute honoring Leon's grandmother who just passed away this past week. The main event starts. Ryan Nemeth interferes. For some reason, Mara Sade comes out to even the odds. They then pan to the Tron. A car's pulling up to the venue. It's Santana, and it's not Tito. After a nice, lengthy match, Santana hits the spin the block, and he pins Kaz. Nick Nemeth is looking around for his trophy. He's about to cash in his title shot when the NXTers rush the ring and beat them all 4 up. Where is this going to lead to next? We will find out on Impact coming up. Speaking of Impact, Clint's TNA Impact TV preview for this week. The continued aftermath of Turning Point will show on this week's episode. There are 2 fatal 4-ways where the winners will face each other to crown a new knockout #1 contender. And what's next for TNA versus NXT after the multiple attacks on TNA, and Santana will address what's on his mind. That's from Clint Carroll, who goes to every single wrestling event in the country. Also, Matt Cardona competes on Impact this week, fresh off of his match on SmackDown. AEW news, again, Tony was on Helwani. If you haven't watched that, you need to. The AEWs are out there and they're talking nonsense. They have declared that Blood and Guts is the #1 gimmick match in the industry. And it even surpasses War Games. Sean, I'm going to let you address that one.
Uneffing believable.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else needs to be added. Joey, what about you?
I got to poop. No, I'm just joking because it's AEW. Like, it makes me want to go poop.
I'm excited to see who gets attempted murdered on the pay-per-view this weekend. It should be very.
I literally have no desire to watch anything AEW related at this point.
No, like, and even
literally nothing.
Even our guy Tom Jeffries, who does have this week's AEW report, was saying for him, it's in AEW has had a lot of up and down points, and for him right now it's down. That's Tom Jeffries, JEFFRIES. Tony Khan, if you're listening, his Twitter is @CTigerDad24. Preemptively block him if you'd like. Last week was AEW Blood and Guts. The women kick off the show with 2 teams of 6 women each. I'm shocked it wasn't 10, but okay.
A 40-man battle royal tag team match.
Megan Bain, Mercedes Mona, Marina Shafir, Sky Blue, Thekla, which sounds like Matt Wesley's trying to say Thesla, and Julia Hart. They defeat Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa, and Jamie Hayter by beating Shirakawa in front of Storm until she gave up.
With a title belt, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just reading.
I've seen the Twitter clip. That's the only thing.
Tom didn't care enough to tell me how that happened. So that just goes.
Tony Storm jumped on top of her and gave up.
AEW champion Hangman Adam Page defeats Powerhouse Hobbs in a Falls Counts Anywhere match. And then the main event is the men's Blood and Guts match. It's Yuta, Moxley, Pac, Claudio, and Daniel Garcia. So for the men's, they just did 5. But the women's did 6. They fight Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, Cal O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy. And the conglomeration, which is what they're calling all those people, and Darby Allin win the match as Kyle O'Reilly makes Moxley tap to an ankle lock. Wow.
I think they stapled Orange Cassidy's hands in his pockets during this match.
Of course they did.
I saw that.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Gosh dang.
I can't wait for Full Gear. I don't know what the card is for Full Gear other than that match I just said, but I'm pretty sure that to win one of the matches, I heard that it's going to be Orange Cassidy versus Darby Allin, and the winner is whoever staples the other person's balls to the other person's forehead wins the match.
I think maybe Vince McMahon is writing AEW right now.
It's such good.
Good gosh. Now it might be Vince Russo. Maybe Vince Russo is writing AEW right now. It's so bad.
Let's do this. A fun guess. Let's do a fun guess, and we won't know. Tom, you'll be in charge of telling us next week. What horrific act we've seen? Syringes through lips. We've seen John Moxley try to drown Darby Allin in a fish aquarium, which makes no sense. What dastardly deed? Somebody got set on fire a couple of pay-per-views ago. I'm going to start off with you, Sean. What horrific event is either attempted or occurs at Full Gear?
Somebody's going to pull out a gun and kneecap somebody.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
I mean, it's trying to drown somebody. So
Sean went straight for the military. Buskily bop bop. Golly. Joey?
Oh my gosh, man. I'm trying to think of something crazy outside the box here.
Well, we've already seen them run people over with cars and golf carts.
So
What's left?
I think actually taking an eyeball.
Oh boy!
An eye.
Hold on, dude. You just said that somebody's gonna get shot in the kneecap.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I mean, WWE did do a eye for an eye match back during the pandemic.
Buskily bop bop.
I don't know, man. Maybe they legit stabbed like somebody. I don't know. Like, just think of the most off the wall bonkers. You know, they bring a tiger in the ring. Who knows?
I was gonna say I think they've already done the stab thing. Who did Ricochet cut somebody's hair off with the scissor or stab somebody with some scissors? I
feel like that happened, and you also had the skewers too to the head.
Yeah. Stable.
And Moxley had a fork in his head, or one of them did.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that during one of the matches, somebody lights up a joint and then puts their ashes out in one of the other wrestlers' mouths.
Oh, they've blowtorched somebody before.
Yeah, that's what I said. Darby. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Daniel Hatfield with our OVW report is off for the evening. There's no way Blood and Guts is better than War. Blood and Guts is just, sorry, Paul. It's a glorified ECW tribute. It's nothing more. It's nothing less.
I guarantee you, he don't want them have. He don't want his brand associated with them.
Sorry. Shout out to our fine sponsors at CapGo Championship Belts. Look for them on Facebook. They do have a holiday special going on right now. Ask them for the just mention Ringside Podcast to them for a special discount that can create any championship that's in circulation now, any from the past, or you can just make it. You could make one up. You could tell them, hey, I want a championship belt that looks like the old WCW Big Gold belt, but in the middle it says Sean dominates women, and they'll make it. It'll be a big gold lie, but they'll make it for you. And he'll give you a good price, and he takes care of people as he did. This is the Tom. Oh, Wes Brocky says a body bag match. I believe they've already done that.
Darby Allin was in a body bag.
Yeah. So shout out to the beast in the beast illiterate. I mean, the beast incarnate. Brock Wesley. I mean, Wes Broccoli. I mean, broccoli and cheese. Just kidding. Final bell for tonight. Ding, ding, ding. Closing thoughts. First off, I want to give a shout out to our guys at Pro Wrestling Nation. Again, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, Nick Nemeth, Dave LaGreca, Natty Neidhart, Bishop Dyer. The list goes on. Appreciate all you all do in giving us wrestling fans something to watch and something to listen to while we're at work, while we're doing our jobs. We appreciate that. Survivor Series coming up in about a week and a half. Very excited for that. Got family coming into town to visit mom, and they're going to also stay for the pay-per-view. Sean, you were here the last time they came up, weren't you? Jonathan and them?
Yes, I was. Mm-hmm.
But Mason didn't come, right?
No, he was here.
Was he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did he behave in front of them?
I don't know.
I didn't think he was there.
I didn't either.
I thought he was. I thought he sat over in the corner in a chair.
What Mason does in the corner is none of my business. Quite frankly, I'd be scared to find out what it was. No, I can't remember because I just remember I presented them with the Williams Championship belt. The old scene. You saw that?
Yeah.
So you were here for that. Okay.
I don't think
I didn't
Mason was there.
It's hard to remember.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean,
because
Mason's
he was
not
here one time where there's a lot of people here, and he sat in one of the camping chairs.
Yeah, but
that was Wes and them was over.
Yeah. But yeah. How's this is gonna sound weird without the context, but how's Mason's hands?
Oh, they're fine.
Okay,
They're good.
Okay,
the scarring is gone.
Yeah, they healed up.
Okay, and they're not sticky anymore. Never mind. Hoping for a great Survivor Series and War Games. Hoping that what we've seen the last few weeks turns into. You can't expect. Here's what grinds my gears. The people that expect WWE to be 5 stars year round, you can't have it 5 stars year round because if it's a 5-star show year round, then there's never anything to build up to. It's already there all year. It's WWE is all wrestling is always better when you have your up and down times because the down times for fans aren't necessarily down times for them. They're setting stuff up. It may seem slow. It may seem like a downtime, but again, we're revving up. It's the road to WrestleMania. Starts at Survivor Series. The road to WrestleMania starts at the Rumble, which is, I don't guess we'll go to the Rumble this year. Sean's been to 2 Royal Rumbles. Have we been to 4?
3.
Wait a minute.
Atlanta, St. Louis, Indy.
Okay. All right.
I got the fly, by the way, just now.
Awesome. We waited with bated breath for that. So just hoping that everything continues to build and build and build, so that WrestleMania is a great show. I know we planned on going to WrestleMania. That's still the plan, but the tickets have to come down in price, man. I'm not paying.
We're going to Vegas. I'll watch Mania in Vegas.
I'm just not paying $2,000 to sit further back than we did this year, which would be almost double what we pay for the tickets. But those are my closing thoughts, Sean.
I'm just hoping that once John Cena retires, is gone, they can get back on track because I feel like that has hampered us all year long.
See, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to interrupt. And I think the John Cena The Time Is Now tournament has been the light to the fuse that has started all this, the excitement of who's the mystery people going to be, who's going to win. Him winning, I never thought I would have been excited to see him win the Intercontinental Championship. The first half of the year John Cena stuff, you can wrap that up in a ball and throw it in the garbage. But this last 3 months has been fantastic. Go ahead and this was your final.
I want to interrupt real quick and add on to that. All that's doing is setting a precedence because next year AJ's retiring. I guarantee you they do something similar for AJ. Because there's so many different, there's now with this partnership with TNA, there's so many different opportunities for them to bring other guys in. I'm not saying it'll be the magnitude that of John Cena's, but
Randy
they'll have
Orton may
some
be the
sort of-
only Randy may be the only guy that gets anything similar to what Cena's been doing.
Well, the next year will probably be CM Punk.
Could
Like
be
the next several years, there'll be several guys that are probably about to hang them up and do a retirement tour. So we're going to see something similar with a lot of guys over the next few years.
I just hope though that they do it a little differently, because it just felt like everything was forced. And I think there was a lot of directions they wanted to go they couldn't go because guys are being taken. I think Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes would have had a feud that would have lasted all year had it not been for John Cena being.
Well, to be fair, it took them half the year to figure out that John Cena was going to be a horrible heel. So had that heel part of it not, I don't think any of this would have been rushed had the heel thing not have ever been attempted. Also rumored, come out today, joining Stephanie McMahon in the Hall of Fame class this year will be John Cena. So, not confirmed. Rumors running wild, brother. But yeah, Joey, what about your final thoughts?
Well, we'll let Sean finish because I interrupt you. You interrupted him. I interrupted him. Go ahead.
So you interrupted me, interrupting him. Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I do love the Last Time Is Now tournament because it's made. I almost wish they'd done something like this maybe throughout the year, different little tournaments. Or I don't know if you could do that, but
no, you definitely could have done an NXT tournament,
yeah,
a TNA tournament, a Raw tournament, a SmackDown tournament, and then had all four of those meet in a fatal four-way. You could have done that throughout the year. But again, we just figured out 2 months ago that he shouldn't have been a heel to begin with.
And that was obviously rushed, as we saw. It was kind of out of nowhere, and the whole problem was is they did it with The Rock, and you're expecting more with that, and nothing came of that, right? Like he just took The Rock's offer, and then nothing to follow up. But regardless, I like what I'm seeing now because you're starting to see younger guys get involved now too. Javon Evans is coming along, and all these Carmelo Hayes is going to get a spotlight on him next week. So I like that they're doing that because they need some younger boys because a lot of these guys are getting ready to retire.
Carmelo needs the spotlight. Okay.
Yeah, Carmelo's going to have a tsunami on top of him too next week.
Really quick before you give your final thoughts, who inducts Stephanie into the Hall of Fame?
Oh God, it might be Vince.
No, I think it's Shane.
Shane, yeah, could be Linda. I mean, she won't have a job soon.
It could be Linda. I don't think it'll be Vince that inducts Stephanie because I think Vince will induct John.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're saving Edge for. Maybe they're saving Edge for like to do that.
It could be The Rock, could be Edge, could be Vince. It could be
could be Randy Orton. I mean, they had a pretty big, history. Could be a lot of people to induct John Cena. Maybe it's Nikki Bella.
You can look, but you can't touch.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, your final thoughts.
So sticking with the Last Time Is Now tournament, I just feel like just looking at the names, I'm seeing a Sheamus versus Gunther final. Kind of going back to some of they've had some pretty good bangers. Teasing maybe a Sheamus versus Cena to where Sheamus completes the career Grand Slam and wins the Intercontinental title off of Cena. But I think Gunther's winning this tournament. I think Gunther's going to retire John Cena, win back the Intercontinental title, have a little bit of a run with that while they do other things with Punks and Rollins and other people with the world title. Once Rollins comes back, and you got Braun Breaker going to probably go after. You got Jey Uso still. You got all these guys. Roman's, I guess, a Raw guy. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, I think Gunther's probably the final opponent for Cena.
Yeah,
looking forward to SummerSlam, Survivor Series. That men's Survivor Series match is freaking stacked. the women's not as stacked, but
only because of the hill side. The face side's probably the most stacked team on the show.
I would have rather seen and I don't know who else you put in there with her, but I would rather seen Jade as part of the Hill team. You could have had Jade and Becky. The Kabuki Warriors definitely need to be in there. And it's nothing against Lash Legend. She's going to be a big time star on the main roster at some point. But
yeah, you could have just flipped Lash out for Jade, and everything would have been okay.
And that would have definitely helped it out.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
What was I about to say? It don't matter now. Make sure y'all. Huh?
You was gonna say Sean likes hot dogs the long way?
Sean eats hot dogs the long way. I was up visiting with Mom before this and ran into our guy Mike. We'll call him Matt for identity protection. So our guy Matt was up there, and he kept walking up to all the aides and asking them what were their favorite foods, hamburgers or hot dogs. And when they said hot dog, he's like, "I bet you like a foot long without the bun."
Oh my God.
He's crazy.
Shout out to Matt C.
Matt's crazy.
Matt is a crazy and wild guy. Cena's been all about. That's what I was going to say. Cena's been all about putting over young talent. So to me, there's nobody with Javon. Had they put Javon against anybody else in the first round, I would have said it would probably be Javon in the finals. But
so Dom wins the title back in San Diego, right?
Huh?
Dom. So do we think Dom wins? I know what I said a minute ago because I forgot that Dominic was fighting him. You don't think that he puts Dom over?
No, I think that you might see the Judgment Day finally turn on Dom. I think it might be where
I think it's so. Here's the thing: either at first glance, I say, nah, he's gonna drop the title to Gunther, give Gunther some meaning while everybody else is fighting. But then a part of me is like, well, hold on. Dominic beats him for the title. Well, then what does that do for Gunther? It does do something for Gunther. Gunther has at that point, he retired John Cena.
Yeah, like he retired Goldberg. He's the new legend killer.
Goldberg retired himself. Who are we?
Well, but I'm just saying he's the new legend killer. He's taken out. Yeah, I just feel like Dom had a great showing against Cena. And do I think that he wins clean? Well, absolutely not. He's Dirty Dom. Either somebody helps him, maybe a returning Liv Morgan comes out and helps him, or maybe a returning Liv Morgan comes out to keep Dominic from winning.
Yeah,
I don't know. So many possibilities, man.
I will say this: I wonder because I still think that Gunther takes the title, and the reason why, and Joey brought up a good point: the finals was Sheamus and Gunther, right? Well, that could set you up for a match at WrestleMania where you finally get Gunther versus Sheamus IC title part 3. I think they fought 2 times prior, and Sheamus finally wins it off Gunther.
Sorry, I'm just messing around with the camera. Is it, Sean? You've never looked better. Listen, make sure you stay subscribed to our notifications so you can chime in on these shenanigans. We appreciate everybody that watches live, and we appreciate everybody who tunes into this later because we know not everybody can watch it live. They've got families, and maybe watching a podcast at 8:00 at night isn't for everybody. They still tune in later via YouTube. We appreciate it. So keep those keep them notifications on for myself, for Joy, for Sean. This has been the Ringside Podcast and Cardinal Sports Zone podcast production of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Recap. Until next time, when we may come back as one of our old personas, you can catch us ringside. We will see you. Hit the button, Sean. The preceding is a Ringside Podcast